Welcome back to Create, Build, and Manage Daily. Scott Miller, and I've been visiting with Edward Beltran. And Edward is the CEO of Fierce Conversations. Edward, thank you for your time, by the way. It's a fascinating topic for sure. And as I was mentioning heading into the commercial break there, we have a lot of business leaders that are watching this. And easy to say the most important thing any company has is the human capital. It's the most expensive. And without your staff, you have no company. Is that a fair question?
More than fair. And the importance of your culture as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think too many businesses, when we talk about startups or smaller businesses or even the large businesses, you get so focused on supply chain, cash flow, all of those things that you're not investing. So what do you see? Talk about some of those success stories of how you've been able to go in with your company and really help your clients help with the culture, and that helps with the bottom line. You know, when people are communicating properly and functioning and you have a healthy team, that's going to help the bottom line.
That's exactly correct. And, it's interesting because really when you think about toxic relationships or thriving relationships, it really comes down to how your people interact. And as I mentioned prior, it's in those moments, those specific situations where I walk away, it's what do I do with that? So if someone says something offensive to me, I have three paths, right? One is I could respond angrily, which isn't conducive to our relationship or our opportunities to work together. I could walk away and say nothing, harboring these feelings, my stress levels go up, and I start having a hard time on the job. And three, which is, and then associated with that, which is worse, is I go and tell two or three other people. And now everyone's saying, did you hear what Scott did? And it just creates and amplifies this toxic environment, and it doesn't solve anything. Or three, you train your people to take it head on. Scott, let me understand this a little bit more, what happened there. And as I mentioned before, what we find in our research is 90% of the time, it's just a misunderstanding. We come together, we're tighter in our relationship, we enrich our relationship, and we collaborate going forward. And our hard research that our chief behavioral science officer that we newly hired found out is that when you do this, you actually decrease your stress on average 4%. Your resilience goes up 17%. And most importantly, your connection to your organization goes up 5%. Like, this is hard data, right?
Right.
It comes from you just having the tools to embrace your environment and tackle it.
Yeah, one of the benefits, if I can be so bold to say this, we looked at the Great Resignation and we looked at the data points, and one of the number one reasons that people leave a job is they don't feel valued. They don't feel valued from their boss. They don't feel valued from their coworkers. And something as simple as going through this program, and I like what you said earlier, people learn different ways, but asking the question, trying to figure out where your team learns and what's the best platform for them, because we're all human, but we're all different. We're all unique. So I think that's awesome. I'm curious, Edward, because you're the CEO of the company, where's your passion? What got you excited about this project personally?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Similar to yourself, Scott, I've had the opportunity to take advantage of formal education and to have the background to be able to enjoy theory and learn and how do I apply it. Not everybody's in that situation. And if we truly believe in making the impacts or improving the world for everybody, then I really think it's our job to figure out how to make it more palatable. And so, as I mentioned before, if you think about our world, people aren't going and getting like automotive degrees to fix their tail light. They're looking on YouTube for a 5-minute video, fixing it and going off and being happy with their life. So I see leadership and how people engage in their work environments similarly. How can we be with them in the moment, in application, the environments that they're used to, that they can act now and tomorrow versus, thinking through theory and how do I apply this? And oh man, I had to sit through 4 hours of training and, then I have to go back and manage my regular workload. Like, how do we make it easier and impact the lives around us?
So what's next for Fierce Conversations as you look forward? What are some projects or some things you're excited about for the future?
I'm very excited in us continuing to be with people when they need us. As I mentioned, what I consider connected strategy. So as you're out there in the world, Scott, how do I predict? How do I know when you're in a moment of high stress and you need to engage your environment, instead of you having to think like, okay, what did I learn at Fierce, or reach in your pocket and grab our app? How do we nudge you or prompt you and say, Scott, this is what you need. remember what we discussed, to be able to improve people's lives in real time. That's where I see the biggest benefit. And in general, that's where leadership and development is moving toward, is application and being with people when they need you.
So final question for you. I just, if someone catches you on an elevator, they got 30 seconds with you, they're just starting out in business, what advice would you offer them?
I would advise them to make sure, first and foremost, they take care of themselves. It's a journey, resilience internally, to find that passion, stick with it, ask as many questions as you can in your environment, and then just keep driving forward, and everything will fall into place. You're not going to have all the answers ever, and nothing's ever going to be perfect. And as soon as you grasp onto that, you're going to be fine.
That's well spoken for sure. All right, so we got your website. We've been showing it throughout. It's Fierce Inc., fierceinc.com. And walk us through the process, Edward, if we reach out to you, kind of what's the average process? So we reach out to you via the website, someone gets a hold, and you do a kind of a first meeting. How does that work?
Yeah, on the website, we have some form fills depending on what products you're looking at. So if you're a large enterprise, we have a team that could be able to find you like the best package so that we could deploy it based on your needs. If you're an individual, we actually have on-demand content. We have the 3D VR simulations we discussed around microaggressions, which is a very impactful topic these days. And we have everything in between. So everything's on the website, or you could hit me up on LinkedIn. I love to talk with people and learn from people. So yeah, either way.
Awesome. Edward, we appreciate your time. It's, again, a very fascinating topic to me. When I think about the metaverse, this is an element that I get excited about, because everything I've seen so far related to the metaverse has been something that I look at from a business standpoint. I think we're just not there yet. When they're talking about creating virtual stores and things of that nature, I think we'll get there. But to me, this has been the greatest application, something very practical that can be used today for those that do learn best by being able to actually play out the scenario and have that mulligan, because you don't get that mulligan in life sometimes, having that mulligan to try it. Listen, I'm a golfer. I need that mulligan, right? That's a subject for another day. Edward, thanks again for your time tonight.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Stick around. You are watching Create, Build, and Manage Daily.